So recently people have been asking me for tips on how to use the .50 Akimbos in the finals. And I thought I would make a tutorial about that right here. Here are some clips of me using the Akimbos. Go to medium. Light dead. It's heavy.
A contestant is weaving through opponents.
Oh, that's not good. That's why I don't run SA-12. That's why I don't run SA-12. Heavy dead. One medium 3-bar.
We're fighting their fight.
Okay.
Take this to P1. Take this to P1.
Hold on, that guy's one. Oh, he's one guy left. There we go.
It is painful missing one bullet, but if you hit in the mid, you hit in the mid.
Oh my.
Thanos.
This is what I'm talking about. Eka, you call that legit?
But yeah, even though the Akimbos are semi-automatic, I feel like most people, they tend to spray the gun as much as possible. And that's something you can do, but it only works well. Spamming the Akimbos only works well if you're standing still. So like here, if I spray at the heavy, like I'm hitting most of my shots. But like if I'm strafe shooting, like you should be doing most of the time, you're not going to hit as many shots. Or like, let me give a better example. But like, say if we're trying to shoot this guy that's moving, spray shooting is not going to be as great. It's just going to be a lot harder to get headshots. If you're spraying the Deegs like right off cooldown, you're going to be using a lot more ammo very quickly, while also probably missing a lot more shots. So what I like to do is like, I like to shoot somewhat slower. It makes each shot more intentional, and I think that makes it more likely to hit a shot. But also I think it makes you subconsciously aim for the head more, because you're taking more time to time your shots. And when you're not spamming your shots, I think innately your brain is knowing the timing of when you are going to shoot. But here with the dispersion reticle, you can kind of see exactly how much inaccuracy the Akimbos have, and you can use this as dispersion reticle for other weapons as well. And it's just in the settings. A lot of the inaccuracy for the Deegs is really when you're hip firing and moving at the same time. Jumping is wildly inaccurate as well. Sliding also increases dispersion, but I mean usually I don't recommend shooting while sliding. Usually not really a scenario for that. And I think most of the times when you're playing the Deegs, you should be ADS like this for like any sort of mid-range to long-range fight. And if you can, you should also crouch, just because you want to get even more accuracy. But that might not always be possible, because you always want to be moving as much as possible, and if you're crouch strafing, it's pretty easy to hit you. But generally, just do the normal standing up, right click. When they're close range, I like to do hip fire, because it's pretty easy to hit all your bullets in hip fire, especially if they're like, even if like sort of like mid-range-ish, you can still hit fire pretty accurately. And what I like to do is I like to crouch when I hit fire, because if you're close range, it doesn't really matter as much if you're crouching or not. But I even also like to just like do running hip fires usually. But when I do them, I usually like run at the enemies, like sort of like this. I never stand still when you're hip firing. But I think general rule of thumb is like crouch hip fire if they're like kind of far away, but like run hip fire if they're like really close. But the reason why we want to slow down our shots instead of like spamming the Deegs as much compared to like other weapons like the Lewis gun, it's because of the damage multipliers, especially on headshot. Meet this graph. This cannot graph, but a sort of quick spreadsheet of damages per shot. The green blocks, they indicate kill or TTKs for light, medium, and heavy for headshots, and the red blocks mean body shots. For light, you can kill a light in 4 body shots. For medium, you can get kills in 6 body shots, and for heavies, you get kill in 8 body shots. This is what really shows like the Akimbos are one of the best weapons, and the reason why is because of the headshot multiplier. And basically, the headshot multiplier is 2 times. So a normal shot of the Akimbos is 44 damage. So if you get a headshot, you do 88 damage instead, which is kind of crazy. I think 2 times is the max headshot damage in any of the weapons in the finals. So basically what this means is like if you get a headshot, it's basically like shooting an enemy twice, which is kind of crazy. But the crazy part, I keep saying crazy, but the actually insane part is like if you get, theoretically, if an enemy was 3 heavies, right, and it takes 4 headshots to kill a heavy, you have 14 bullets in the Deegs, you can kill an entire team of heavies with 12 bullets. And you would still have 2 left over. And I feel like that's kind of unheard of for like any weapon. That's why I say like the Deegs are like the highest skill ceiling weapon. Obviously, they're just not going to stand there and let you shoot them. They're going to use mesh shield. They're going to use domes and stuff like that. But theoretically, one of the best weapons. A big issue with Deegs and most of the heavy weapons is like the super long range. And while Deegs are probably like one of the longest range, probably the longest range weapon for heavy right now, they still suffer from like damage fall off. And let's see here. That's 44 damage. And about like 40 meters ish, we start getting damage fall off. Yeah, like the 30 to 40 meter ish, you start getting damage fall off. And one of the biggest things with these is like, I wouldn't really take any fights that are outside like effective range because your burst potential goes way down. Like if it takes 8 bullets to kill heavy, if they're in your effective range, it's going to take you 16 bullets to kill heavy if you're doing half your damage because of your damage fall off. So one of the biggest things is like whenever you're playing on the rooftops or like super far range, like shooting people from really far range is like, it's not really worth it unless you're shooting with your team. So one of the things I suggest is just like trying to move up, get closer to a better position, because then you can get these easy headshots and kill enemies super fast before they have a time to react. And it's not really worth like wasting bullets or taking damage as a heavy if you're trading these super long range fights. Because if the enemy does damage to you, and most likely you're fighting mediums and lights, if you're doing damage to them, they're just going to run away and regen. While if you get hit, you're not going to be able to regen as quickly. If all the ranges are 35 minimum and 42 max range fall off, there you go. At 35 meters, start losing damage. And at 42 meters, you hit max damage fall off, which is 50%. So you're going to do 11 or 22 damage. But for the Deegs, like most other weapons, in my opinion, it's always better to side strafe or horizontal strafe with the weapon instead of like going forward or backwards. This is mainly because like to the enemy, if you're side strafing, they have to move their cursor to adjust. While if you're going backwards or forward, all they have to do is just aim at a straight target, like I'm aiming at. So always be side strafing, and this applies to like other weapons as well. Generally, you should be side strafing instead of like going towards them or behind or going behind. Generally, when I use the Akimbos, like I think a good way to time the shots, like I said that I don't really spam the Deegs, so like how slow do I actually shoot them? I want to say I don't shoot until the crosshair comes back to the center. I think that's a good way to time your Deeg shots. So there's really not that much recoil control in terms of shooting at that sort of pace. But obviously, if the enemies are closer, you're going to want to shoot faster because like you're more likely to hit your shots because they're closer. So you want to speed up your TTK by shooting faster. So when that happens, obviously you might want to do some recoil control depending on the situation. Why not learn to recoil and shoot faster like LH1? Problem is, it's hard to learn the Deegs recoil because like if you're always switching how fast you shoot, depending on like how close you are or farther, it's kind of hard to like adjust the recoil for that as well. And whenever I like try to shoot fast that it makes it almost impossible to like hit every bullet. Because I think there's just natural bloom as well when you shoot. Like, if I tried to spray that guy from this far, I don't think I would have hit like as many shots. I mean, keep in mind, like, if they're farther away as well, the more precise your spraying is going to have to be. Which is just not happening if you're spraying them. Because they're going to be a smaller target. I showed this version earlier. In that situation, that guy was like super close, so I just hit the hip fire type B. This guy's also close, hit the hip fire. But there I crouched a little bit because since I was on the goo wall, right? There's no reason for me to not crouch because like okay, so if I'm running like this, where am I going to run if I'm on the goo wall? So I'd rather just stay on the goo wall and just get the increased accuracy with the crouch. And so like that's another thing you gotta keep in mind is like your environment, the amount of space you have. Like if you don't have much space, you might as well just crouch because you're gonna get shot in that spot anyways. How many headshots should he go for? And generally, I think just getting one headshot is fine for most matchups. If you get one headshot, it's usually pretty good. Like one headshot on light makes it three shot the kill, which is basically the same as Pike. Since I play on such a high sense, most of my, I guess, skill with the Ds comes with like micro adjustments. But a lot of those adjustments also come through the movement. So like, it's not just me just moving my mouse when I'm trying to aim. Like, moving like this, when I used to play Lewis Gun a bunch, and Lewis Gun had a horizontal recoil, I actually programmed in my brain when to press A, when to press D to control for horizontal recoil. And the Deeks isn't really like that, but like, if you just need to move your crosshair a little bit, where it doesn't like we don't really need to flick to the enemy, just moving the crosshair into them is also pretty good, in my opinion. But as you get used to the Akimbos, the cool thing about the Akimbos is like, since it does 44 damage and quick melees does 40 damage, you can really easily get into the like habit of comboing, right? If you know how much bullets it takes to kill medium, like it takes 6 body shots to kill medium, right? And you shoot them 5 times, you automatically know a quick melee will kill them. And like the same with light, it's like you shoot them 3 times, 1 quick melee will kill them. Like, it's just really easy to combo quick melee with like, Akimbos, especially it doesn't have like that shotgun debuff where like you have to like, when you melee, you have to like reclock your weapon or stuff like that. Like, it doesn't suffer from that. But it's just something you just gotta get used to, and it's really good with quick melee. DB light, I mean, you just sort of have to play in a spot. Okay, notice how that guy, you know, he was doing this? I mean, I just waited, because like when he's doing that, I can't really shoot you. So I took a little bit of my time just like making sure I understand what he's doing, and then just like make sure I aim at the right spot. Because the worst thing you can do is shoot and then miss, because you're losing ammo and also not doing damage, which is not good. But is crouch hip fire more accurate than ADS? No. But if they're like close enough to you, it's definitely worth the crouch hip fire compared to ADS. Because with ADS, you're not moving as fast, and you zoom in as well. Like when you ADS, if you notice, your screen zooms in. And that can be really bad if they're close range, because if they're moving a lot quicker because you're zoomed in. Ooh, did you guys see that? I used the head glitch here. Boom, 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 boom. Which made it a lot easier. And since I was crouching as well, I got the head glitch and crouching. I was like super accurate while also being defended by the cleaning cart. That's another good example of like, if I didn't hit a headshot there, all I had to do was melee him and he would have died. But I did hit a headshot, so he did die before I had to melee. So about like height differences and stuff, like what type of fights should you be taking with the Deeks? Like right there, I shot that guy. He was above me. I just got like 2 easy headshots. But generally, you want to have the high ground as Deeks, as it's similar to like other weapons as well. Having high ground makes it easier to get head glitches on enemies. Makes it easier for you to get headshots on enemies because you're looking at them from a higher angle. But the thing about the Deeks is like, I think they're also one of the best weapons to fight on low ground. Like if you're on low ground, it's so winnable because like if the enemy only has their head showing, it's like that's super good for you because you succeed with headshots. So I think Deeks is one of like the best underdog weapons for those type of situations compared to like other weapons like Lewis gun. Because like if you're running the Lewis gun and you're on low ground, it's going to be a lot harder to do damage to an enemy because not only will your recoil control have to be perfect to hit them if they're on a head glitch, and by the time you start shooting them, they probably would just run away because you're not doing a lot of damage in a short amount of time. And that basically concludes my video. Hopefully you learned anything or something about the Akimbos. If you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe. I am willing to go over some of my best Akimbo clips and sort of break them down and explain to you like good practices. And let me know if you guys want to see that. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. Bye bye.